Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to decode exactly how to treat your life and your work like a highly optimized machine. We're basing this whole breakdown on the groundbreaking concepts from the book Principles, Life and Work by Ray Dalio. Now, if you're not familiar with Dalio, he's the founder of Bridgewater Associates, and he actually used these very same principles to build one of the absolute most successful hedge funds in the entire world. His book offers a super systematic approach to both life and business, and today we're going to break down exactly how you can take that blueprint and apply it yourself.
So I have to ask you, are you running your life or is the competition running you? Look, we all know the Indian business landscape right now is fiercely competitive, and it's changing by the minute. Whether you're launching a brand new startup in Bangalore or you're grinding for that hard-earned promotion in Mumbai, you absolutely need a distinct edge. The environment around us just doesn't stand still. Relying purely on hard work, it honestly just isn't enough anymore. Having a set of solid, unshakable principles is completely crucial if you actually want to stand out and succeed.
All right, so here is our agenda for today's system deconstruction. We're going to cover navigating fierce competition, the radical reality check, the pain and reflection equation, the 5-step success engine, and we will wrap it all up with defeating ego and blind spots.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, Fierce Competition, Surviving the Market. We have to establish the exact mindset you need to survive out there.
The core idea here is really to treat your life and your work like a finely tuned machine. Dalio insists that the foundational step to any success is just stepping back and looking at your life, your career, and your business strictly through a mechanical lens. Think about it. A machine has inputs, a process, and outputs, right? So if you don't like the output you're getting, say your business isn't growing the way you want or your career just feels totally stagnant, you don't get angry at the machine. You pop open the hood, you look at the gears, and you fix the mechanism. You really have to detach yourself emotionally and view your goals through this engineered, totally systematic perspective.
Moving right along to Section 2, Radical Reality, the core operating system. To run this machine, we need to install its foundational software.
This brings us to Dalio's main concept, which is radical truth and radical transparency. But what does that actually mean in the real world? Well, it demands that we completely stop hiding our mistakes. We have to fully accept reality exactly as it is, no matter how incredibly harsh it might be. In a lot of traditional hierarchical work cultures, admitting you messed up to your boss is seen as a huge weakness. We're sort of trained to just ignore the harsh realities, sweep our errors under the rug to save face. But Dalio argues that ignoring reality is a massive glitch in your machine. If a project completely tanks or a client rejects your pitch, radical truth means looking that failure dead in the eye, zero excuses, and just accepting the facts.
Which brings us nicely to Section 3, Pain and Reflection, a strategy for failure. So the absolutely crucial point here is this monumental equation. Pain plus reflection equals progress. I really want you to absorb this one. Whenever we make a mistake or hit a wall, it causes pain. That is just a universal human experience. But what do most people do? They try to avoid that pain, or they distract themselves from it entirely. Dalio's principle states that if you take that inevitable pain and you add deep, honest reflection to it, the ultimate result is always progress.
Okay, let's break that down just a little bit further. In our fast-paced culture where mistakes are usually viewed as a weakness, pausing to reflect when you fail is honestly your ultimate superpower. First, you acknowledge the mistake. That's the pain part. You just own it. Second, you aggressively analyze why it happened. This is your reflection. Did you misread the market? Was your team communication totally off? And third, you completely upgrade your system based on what you just learned. That right there is progress. When you fail, you learn from it, and you upgrade the machine.
Up next is Section 4, the 5-step engine. Drive forward. We have our operating system of truth and reflection, so now we need the engine to propel us.
Imagine applying this 5-step engine to your very next big project. First, you set a crystal clear goal, visualizing exactly what success looks like. Second, when problems inevitably pop up, you don't just tolerate them. No way. You aggressively identify them as obstacles. Third, you don't just slap a Band-Aid on the surface-level symptoms. You dig deep and accurately diagnose their true root causes. Fourth, you design a specific, actionable plan to bypass or completely eliminate that root cause. And finally, step 5, you push those designs through with massive, relentless action. That is exactly how you drive your machine forward.
Finally, we have Section 5, Ego and Blind Spots, Preventing a Crash. Because hey, every complex machine needs good antivirus software, right? Dalio identifies our own ego and our blind spots as our absolute greatest enemies here.
Think about it. Our ego constantly tells us we're right, and our blind spots prevent us from seeing our own flaws. To counter this, there's a brilliant cure introduced in the text. It's a concept called believability-weighted decision-making.
So what is believability-weighted decision-making? It basically means that instead of relying on your own untested ego, or just taking advice from literally anyone with an opinion, you have to assign way more weight to the advice of proven experts. Specifically, you want to listen to people who have successfully achieved the exact goal you're currently struggling with. For example, if you're trying to scale a tech startup in India, don't just trust your gut if you've never actually done it before. Give the highest possible weight to the feedback of someone who has already successfully scaled a tech startup. It just removes your ego from the equation entirely.
Let's tie this whole shebang together. By setting these solid principles, you systematically remove the friction of ego and you construct a machine that is designed to get you exactly what you want out of life. You view your entire career as a finely tuned machine. You fully embrace radical truth and transparency, refusing to ever hide from reality again. You leverage the equation of pain plus reflection to guarantee absolute progress. You continuously, relentlessly run that 5-step process for every single goal, and you actively choose to listen to proven experts over your own blind spots.
I really want to leave you with this final thought. Think back to the last time you faced a major setback, or maybe tried to hide a mistake at work just to save face. Remember, your life and your work are simply a machine. So looking at the way you operate today, what specific principle are you going to upgrade tomorrow? Are you going to embrace radical truth, or will you start deeply reflecting on your pain? The choice is entirely up to you. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I highly encourage you to start optimizing your machine today.